Hey, what's going on, friends? My podcast every day is broken up into two parts on the free platform. The first part, Act 1, is right now. When it's all done, go right on over to Act 2 to get the second half of the podcast. Thank you so much for checking out my show. Hello, hello, hello. I'm here. I'm queer. Get used to it. What is up, folks? Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast, the daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my daily adventures from right here in the Impact Power Sports studio. Impact Power Sports. Well, they have power right in Rockford, Michigan. You can't miss them. 14 Mile Road, Rockford, Michigan. And just so excited to have them on board. They are great at Impact Power Sports. Head over to their website, impactpowersportsmi.com, for a great selection of four-wheelers, golf carts. You know, they have Yamaha golf carts. That's one of the latest dealerships to have Yamaha golf carts at Impact Power Sports. I'm so excited to have them on the show again, sponsoring my studio. Chris says, holy F, the energy this morning already coming out of the gate, a la Z93 days. A mobile hub of rock and roll. Well, let's get right to it. Big news down the pipe. Is it pike or pipe? I always ask. Estimations that free beer may be nearing $1 million a year in income, which, awesome. Good for you. You've built that. That is, you should be very proud of that. And you should probably reward the lady who is so instrumental in building your show. Kelly Cheese has done so much for that show. I have never been able to, I cannot compare in terms of what she does to what I used to do. She is the id of the show. Little Freud reference for you. They just pulled a 32 share, I think, in men 25-54 in Grand Rapids, Michigan. A 32 share. What? That means one radio station has 32% of all of that demo, and then about 30 other radio stations divide up the other 68%. That's incredible. Now, I don't know the total number of audience listening or the cume. We've talked about that many times. Most people say that the overall number of listeners is decreasing. Thus, when it shows the share, it could be a share of whatever that cume is. I don't know that number. I don't have access to that. But still, the show is at unprecedented heights. So why the fuck is the person who's driving the content on that show making such a pauper's wage, if you ask me? That's like just above living wage. What is living wage? Like 45, 50, 55? Well, she makes 70. What an embarrassment. Now, that is straight from the ex-husband's mouth, so I trust him. I don't give a shit what she says when she has a temper tantrum, fucking stomping, kicking, and screaming that she's paid just fine. I believe she is simply covering for her employers. What else is she going to do? But there's going to come a day, mark my words, when she's going to get fucking fed up. I heard from the Coleman Lutz News Network that our boy Freebeer just bought a $100,000 car. One of these. And my news reporters in the field, Coleman's kids, reported to the guy in charge of the newsroom, Coleman Lutz, the big news. Greg bought a new Tesla, telling the kids it's the fastest production car in the world. Confirming everything I hate about him, LOL. Coleman says it's the plaid model, so probably 100,000. I wrote, Jesus. I wrote, yeah, that fucking thing goes 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds, quarter mile in 9.25. If he paid 15 grand more for the track package, that car is capable of going over 200 miles an hour. Silver lining. He just greatly increased his chances that he's going to win a Darwin Award. I just lost where I was in the conversation. God damn it. Bear with me. There was a ton of you watching. Because you love the dirt. You love the dirt. Coleman says, yeah, I know. It's one of the fastest cars. I want him to freeze to death in it when it runs out of charge. Apparently, he was talking about, let's see. Nope. I don't want to read that part. Sorry. Coleman writes, it's been a good year and a half or more since he even walks past the front door when I pick up my kids. However, today, he was standing by the door looking at his car as if I was going to recognize it and acknowledge it. Fuck. His face always has this fake half smile, like if he rode a motorcycle, he would eat 1,000 bugs. And then he says something else that I don't want to read. I said, if you ever get footage of him in the wild, I need that. Was he expecting you to be at the house when he was out and when he was looking at the car? Coleman says, yes. I said, because that seems like a calculated move. Coleman says he won't come outside, but he was standing at the door. Coleman says he always knows when I will be there, but I think he thought it was a big dick move to stand and look at his car. So now, if you already have everything, and the person that stirs the pot on the show, Kelly Cheese, has shit, she probably has to get a second job selling something to the locals in order to make ends meet, for God's sake. Here you are, throwing another log on the fire with a $100,000 car. For fuck's sake, man. Pay the woman. Corey says someday Freebear will reach his limit and call out Zane. His ego can only take so much damage before he explodes. Well, I got one more thing for you. Because if you were to look up Freebear's beach house, not the one he had in the past, but the new one he has in Montague, I buried the lead here because the Montague home is worth just shy by about $10,000 of $1 million. He's got a $1 million beach house. Second goddamn house. Oh, no. Look at this place. This is straight from the Coleman Lutz News Network. Wow. My man. Good for him. That's a cute, funky little place. I love this place. I am excited that he was able to dive right into, kid can't swim either, a $1 million home on one of the most pristine spots on the planet. and he can't pay the host of the show more than $70,000. What? Outrageous. Holy shit. $1 million second home. Brand new $100,000 sports car. What the fuck? Ugh. This is great. Well, I mean, it's great for him. I sincerely hope that the lady who is the goddamn maestro of that show, Kelly Cheese, reaches out and says, okay, one thing we can agree on, Greg, is we all hate Eric Zane. All right? We all hate that son of a bitch. But all he's doing is talking about you and all of the money that you fucking have and that I don't have. Tomorrow, she should be making a minimum of $150,000. Minimum. For all the radio stations that he brags about and Omaha steak reads and all that great shit, which, I can't fault anybody for getting that. But pay the woman. Holy shit. Rich says, why pay her if she's willing to work for chump change? Comparatively speaking, I think eventually she'll just get sick and wander away and be done with it. Because she can get a job anywhere earning that. I mean, come on now. Corey says, if he didn't force his new wife to sign a prenup, then he's credibly stupid. I don't know about that. Linda says, I wonder if Kelly's ex had a prenup so she didn't get any of his money. Corey says, if she's a host, then she needs to be paid like a host, which, by the way, a lot of people said, well, she's not a host. If you were to go to the Compass Media website, Kosan's website for all of his network shows, look it up, Compass Media, and then search on Freeburn Hot Wings. There's a description of each player on that show. Kelly, it says host. It doesn't say, it says co-host, actually. Co-host. Holy shit. Greg, this is embarrassing. You need to do better. Here you are, and I know you try to I would say that you've always painted yourself as having the understanding of your surroundings and being cognizant of the people that are close to you, and here you are. You are rubbing her nose in shit with a $1 million second house, brand new purchase of a $100,000 Tesla, and then bragging about it to kids about how fast it goes. Well, by the way, if I'm the father of those kids, I'm like, yeah, don't drive that fast, please. With my kids in the car. You better not drive that fast. Because Greg doesn't have the upper body strength to manage a car that's driving fast. Chris says, yeah, but you have a fucking hot tub. Well, this guy's got like 5 fucking hot tubs. Public Radio Dave says someone's easily becoming the poster boy for a midlife crisis. If he wasn't already. Corey says these people that buy cars are capable of going that fast when there's nowhere you can drive it that fast. I see what you're saying, except for maybe a racetrack. Jeremy says all she said is that she makes more than she did in Atlanta. Yeah, when she had a temper tantrum on Reddit, and she went on there and said, they take care of me. I get all sorts of good things. They take care of me. Christmas incredible. Yeah, but you didn't say that you make more than $70,000. You don't make more than $70,000, but you need to, and you need to march over to Greggy's second $1 million mansion and demand that. Demand your raise or you walk. That's what you do. Okay, you need EZ as your agent, miss. Fucking A. That is something. Now, what I'm curious about is Freebeer had a house in Holland. It wasn't on the water. It wasn't anything like this masterpiece. I love this house. Holy shit, is that adorable. It's pink and fucking Miami Dolphins blue. And look at, this is the hot tub right there. There's a hot tub. Sweet ass fire. You got main house level, steps drop off to your fire pit, and then down to the beach, bro. On the outside, look at that. It's like a wraparound deck. You got the beautiful furniture. You can have a nice meal out in front. Believe me, I wish I had this. This is fucking great. Look at that place. I don't fault him. I think it's awesome. But the point of this is to... Chris says, goddamn Neuenfeld. The point of all of this is you've got poor little old Kelly struggling to get by. Like I said, she probably needs a second job selling something in order to make ends meet. Tyler says, I just can't imagine doing bare minimum effort in my job and making that kind of money, LOL. Yeah, fuck. We worked a lot harder back then and made a lot less. So this is really fantastic. Ari Zane is being discussed. Agent Zane, formerly known as the Love Agent, will get you more money just like he got countless listeners. More tail. Hooey. Well, I can guarantee me discussing Neuenfeld's new $100,000 Tesla and $1 million home is going to get back to old Greg. And I can pretty much guarantee that Kelly will pay attention to this show too. Thank you to my friends at the Coleman Lutz News Network for filling me in on the info. His close pal, Matt H., is here right now. Make sure you tip off Coleman that I appreciate him on the news scoop, on the big news. I don't know if Greg even made it known on his radio show that he had purchased a new $100,000 Tesla. He might have if I'm Greg, knowing him, he keeps that to himself. That he doesn't want people to know that. I doubt that he's broken down anything about the lake house. I didn't know that. I had never heard that he has the place in Montague. I just thought that he kept the one in Holland, but I get maybe his ex-wife got that or they sold it. I don't know. But a $1 million house, and apparently when he bought it, it didn't cost $1 million, so it's gone up in value. So he's making money on the goddamn deal. Corey asks, do you think Kelly legitimately tries to not engage with you out of loyalty to free beer? No. I actually think she does not like me. But deep down, I'm right. She would not admit that. Maybe in a closed door session. But I am right. You might have mentioned that you've spoken to her before, but I missed that show. Via Messenger. But after I started my dialogue with Mr. Kelly, the former Mr. Kelly, I now am pretty confident she is that I am not on her list of favorite people. Let's just say that. Corey says publicly she could never agree with you. And I wouldn't. Yeah, that would be silly if she did. But if she said, hey, I want to have a clandestine meeting, I would keep it close to the vest. If she asked politely and was fair to me, I would absolutely honor that. Matt H. says, oh, yes, we discussed the Tesla last night, and I've seen the house. Kelly's going to need to start an OnlyFans to balance her salary. Either that or start selling something in addition, like, a second job. Jimmy says, yeah, but EZ, you've got a fear bunker north. Look, I'm not in this to compare what I have to what Greg has. That's an unfair comparison. Greg's made millions. I have not. And that's not what this is about. The point of this discussion is simply to show the difference in earnings because one is a man and the other is a woman. Greg is not nearly as qualified. She can do what Greg can do. He cannot do what she can do. That's how I usually base these things. And don't even get me started. Hot Wings has been useless since I knew him. I can't. It's one thing that Greg makes this money and spends it. It's another thing entirely that the most useless person in the history of radio, Hot Wings, also earns this type of money. Responding to Jimmy's comment about, yeah, but you have a fear bunker north. Chris writes, yeah, Greg doesn't have a hazmat trailer. Do you have any idea what Steve makes? If it's even more than a penny more than Kelly, I'll riot. I guarantee you it is. Corey says Hot Wings probably saves it and never touches it. Correct. So, yeah, that's... You see, though, when these guys... if half of their fortune disappears in the divorce, so that's a lot of money saved up in retirement, plus the spousal support and child support, you're looking at a number north of 20 G a month. Okay? So with that in mind, I'm a little bit surprised that Greg would be so spend crazy. I think Hot Wings has enough sense to hang on to his money. But Greg has, quite a bit to spend on spousal support and child support. Corey says Greg has more kids, so he probably pays more. One more kid. Wow. Well, after I heard this information yesterday, I could not wait to drop this bombshell. And if anyone feels like it, please be free to be loose with your lips in the usual spots where these things are discussed, like my old show's subreddit that I am not allowed to participate in, my subreddit for the 540 of you that exist on the planet, and, of course, the Segment 18 page. Those twats will probably be all over it, too. Corey says you only pay alimony based on the time of the divorce, though. So if you make a ton more after the divorce, your ex is not entitled to it. Right, but you still have to pay spousal support for quite some time. All right. Boy, that place. I love that place. I want that goddamn house. That is quite a place. Good for Greg, frankly. Hey, it's your old pal Eric Zane for my new favorite sponsor, Mint Mobile. MintMobile.com. MintMobile.com. What's up? How does this work? Well, you keep your phone, you keep your number, and you get everything on your phone that you're used to, except you pay incredibly less for it. It's that simple. pick a plan, any plan, and off you go. You can even get a new phone if you like with the service. That's totally up to you. This is one of the most versatile, easy things in the world when it comes to cell phones. How often are you looking at your cell phone bill with whoever and you're like, my God, this has gotten out of hand. This is like a living, breathing entity that I don't want any part of. It's time to make the switch to Mint Mobile. More Americans are doing this than ever before. In fact, U.S. News and World Reports called them the best cell phone plans around. Wired recommends them. The New York Times Wirecutter did a best cell phone plans article on them. Incredible. So many people are talking about Mint Mobile. I want you to check this out for yourself. Go to mintmobile.com and see what I'm talking about. You're going to see that it's basically the same damn thing that I talked about. Keep your phone, keep your number. You're just going to pick a plan, boom, pay for it, and you're in business. All the details are at mintmobile.com. But I'm telling you, I just made the switch and I'm saving hundreds of dollars on my cell phone bill. Check it out online, mintmobile.com. Okay. So for you folks that are watching the show on Facebook and YouTube, thank you so much. I'm going to send you on your way. As always, I appreciate you being part of the show. If you want the full show, you have to go to twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. And then once you are there, go ahead and subscribe to my spot on Twitch. You can also download the app on the App Store and then just search Eric Zane Live, and you are good to go. The audio from this it becomes the audio podcast, which you can download it wherever you download shows. If you have the opportunity to rate and review it, please do that and subscribe. Patreon, where we have a Big Fraud Thursday coming up, featuring Who Are These Zanes? And another edition of the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast is coming up on this Thursday. Obviously, want to see you there. You can sign up for free, patreon.com/Eric Zane. You can sign up for 7 days free. You put in a payment form, and then you go ahead and you cancel it. And then you get the 7 days free. If after that 7 days you want to get back in on that action, you just sign up again. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. All right, so the folks on Facebook and YouTube are out. Facebook and Twitch brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. X brought to you by Blue Frost IT. As always, you can reach out to me on the Shoreliner Striping inbox. I appreciate all email correspondence. That is Eric at ericzaneshow.com. If there's anything at all that you want to say, Adam writes this. Morning, EZ. On yesterday's show, that Rick story brought tears to my eyes. The story deserves national recognition. I loved it. Oh, you mean the story that Chris D and Amanda and Maureen were picking on Rick for telling that story the way he did? Yeah, I loved it too. He's obviously pretty sensitive because he says, "Easy, I also go through a range of emotions every time you discuss your RV story from hell." That would be, what did you call it? The fraud mobile or the fraud bus? I feel my blood pressure rise as you get further and further into the update. And I have an update on that. I just heard from my guy over at the repair place. Still waiting on one part. And I go, buddy, I get it. You know, hopefully this is the beginning of the end. We get that thing repaired. We can start taking the fraud bus back out. I go, let me ask you this. Is there any way you would give me a complimentary motorhome wash. Now, you might think, well, Jesus, that doesn't sound like that big of a deal. It costs like $300 to wash one of these things. For them, not for me. If I wash it, it's just a pain in the fucking ass. Because quite literally, you got to get on a ladder, wash the top, wash the middle, get down off the ladder, wash the bottom, rinse, move the ladder over, up the ladder. It's a bitch. It's an all-day affair. He agreed. I get a free wash. Honestly, I mean, you feel that is the least that they could do. And I think he feels the same way. Just fingers crossed that when I get it back, it doesn't fucking go crazy on me. I just got my bill for my next payment on the thing. And that will be between last month and this month. 2 payments made, and the thing is still in the shop. Motherfuck. Again, the problems began on this thing 200 miles into my ownership of it. 200 miles. Adam also adds, I need to go back and watch the movie The Russian Five. Those were the glory days of the Red Wings. The story of Fetisov coming from Russia was also compelling. Oh, well, got to go back to work. Keep up the great work. Signed, Adam. Known in the chat as AC Davis 2259. Glad I can help. All right. Thank you to A&E Heating and Cooling. Online at aeheatingcooling.net. That is Joe Martinez at 616-516-8579. If you need your AC repaired, if you need your heater repaired, your furnace, or if you need new ones installed, reach out to Joe Martinez. 616-516-8579. Jeremy says, go to a truck stop with a truck wash. $100. Yeah, is that one of those ones that, is it automatic though? I mean, I don't want to have the fucking hose, a high pressure thing doing that shit. Besides, if that's the case, I mean, my God, $100 is still $100. It wouldn't cost me. I don't want to do it. I don't want to spend the $100 on something I can do at home. It's already a money pit. I think if you compared in terms of being a money pit, I think a fair comparison would be a boat and a motorhome. Now, I think boats use more fuel, and the fuel is wreck fuel, so it's like $6 a gallon. I think a boat costs more to keep. Jeremy says, no, they have guys hand wash it with high pressure washes and brushes. Well, that's what's concerning me. Because the piece of shit that I have, apparently, you use a high pressure thing on that, the paint's going to come flying off. Nick writes, my boat gets 2 to 3 miles per gallon. Holy shit. That reminds me, I think of weird things and then I look it up. And I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but I think it's in the hundreds of millions or maybe billions of... I looked up, how many gallons of fuel does the aviation industry use in a year? And it was some outrageous number. In a year. We're talking millions, if not billions of gallons of fuel. And whenever I think about that, Chris says Cora is the best. whenever I think about that, I'm like, my God, that fuel came from actual fossil fuel out of the earth. And if we use that much fossil fuel that then has to be refined, how is it possible that we don't run out in like a week? What type of numbers are we dealing with in terms of oil under the surface of the earth? We have to be, in the age that we're in, with how much fuel we consume around the world, there has to be a foreseeable end for the amount of oil that is available. Yes? This is one of those things that keeps me awake at night. I also looked up how much fuel a massive jetliner like a 747 would use. And I think those things have, as far as I recall, they hold 56,000 gallons worth of fuel. One of those. 56,000 gallons in one of those planes. And that you can do a whole set of equations as to how much it costs to fuel up. I think, again, the amount of fuel, the type of fuel that they put into those is very particular fuel that's quite expensive, $6, $7, $8 a gallon. Times 56,000 just to fuel up. So think about that next time you think you're getting ripped off by the airlines. How much it costs just to get that fucker fueled. Those jets burn fuel, according to what I read, 1 gallon a second. So in 60 seconds, it's used nearly as much fuel as the fraud bus holds. Chris says, I know we used to get aviation fuel for my race car, and it was $10 a gallon in 04. Can't imagine what it is now. Yeah, who knows how much aviation fuel costs? I don't want to look it up right now because it'll distract me, and then there'll be a long pause, and people will yell at me and make fun of me. But holy shit. I don't know how the fuck I got on that topic, by the way. I was talking, I was talking about Joe Martinez, and then somehow the next thing I know, I'm talking about aviation fuel. That is ADHD at its finest. Buy now, refinance later with the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage, 231-332-6505. Jackie and Justin did this. They got their rate just below 7. And then in a few years, they'll refinance as the rate stabilizes to the level that it was pre-pandemic. And you're good to go. Call Mario from anywhere in the U.S. for more information. That number is 231-332-6505. 231-332-6505. Okay, where am I? What are we talking about now? Oh boy. Last week we were talking about a guy who's running for the mayor of Grand Rapids. Chris adds, price of aviation fuel right now, the national average is $9.02. Corey says, I got a 2.3% rate during the pandemic. I don't know if it'll ever be that low again. It would be a while, that's for sure. Last week, I introduced you to this guy. I'm assuming guy. Haley Lynch Bastion, running for mayor of Grand Rapids. When I talked about it, I think it was Aram that said, is this even real? Is this some type of parody? Is it a joke? You're getting a good look at Haley Lynch Bastion right there. He even said, people are asking if this is a joke, and because normally I don't, and then talked about his appearance with his hair and mustache, long, unkept hair. Well, the other TV station in town, or one of them, Wood TV8, they have also interviewed Haley Lynch Bastion. And I was thrown off because this is the same guy. "100% different appearance." This is Haley Lynch Bastion last week on Fox 17. This is Haley Lynch Bastion this week on Wood TV8. He's a goddamn chameleon is what he is. Oh, no. Tyler says, what a fucking master of disguise. Now, I don't want to play both interviews. I'll just play this one with the Q&A about what's up with Haley Lynch Bastion. So,
the candidates running to become the next mayor of Grand Rapids.
And tonight we are taking a look at a political outsider in the race.
News 8's Byron Tollefson continues our coverage
outsider.
I am a
weirdo
person who focuses on philosophical and psychoanalytical.
Never trust anybody who can't even look you in the eye. What a fidgety fucking weirdo.
Work, largely speaking. I'm also an artist because how else do you pass the time?
Haley Lynch Bastion is a Grand Rapids native and resident who works at Founders Brewing Company. For Haley, jumping in the race for mayor was to
Is Haley wearing a type of crop top there?
Advocate for people who feel unheard and neglected.
I am not trying to get me elected. I
wish he stopped talking like this and hanging on to every syllable.
Trying to get the people in a place where a voice.
This is a form of vocal fry, by the way.
For the people is at least a little bit louder than it usually.
Look at this dude. This dude doing the interview is like, oh, fuck me.
What's your biggest priority if elected?
Well, frankly, homelessness and food.
Why do you have to be frank about that? Why not just say homelessness?
But we have so much resources, so many resources.
Yeah, we do have so much resources.
And that we act like there's a scarcity and then allow our brothers and sisters to literally starve on the streets, melt to death. I live in a one-bedroom currently.
See, now that's oftentimes thrown out, but I've said this. I said this last time when this twat was talking. It's not nearly that simple. Typically, the people that are on the street would need to want to, lift a finger to help themselves. And they won't. They won't do it.
That's filled with bugs, and there's lead in the paint, and despite my best efforts to deter these sort of pest issues, etc., it's the state of a lot of housing.
What's your opinion on the city supporting projects like the amphitheater, the proposed soccer stadium, and the possible...
That's what they asked him on Fox 17 too.
Aquarium. Do you think it's a good use of resources?
This abstract of, oh yeah, your taxes go into the amphitheater, but then in a few years, there will be $4 billion floating around. It's are you going to see a dollar from that? Am I
parking?
I know Nick in the arena will. He's going to help build the goddamn thing. No, and the way that this idiot describes that makes it seem like all those projects are going to be built by taxes of people that live there. And that's not the case at all. What is proposed is a hotel tax. And people that come from out of town, the lion's share of the money that is needed to build those, it's going to come from visitors to the city. And no, I mean, if I I wouldn't see money in my pocket directly, but with a little luck, I can do MC work at all those venues if I, am able to procure that job. So that would mean that I'm making more money. That's how it works. This idiot, it's in black and white to him. Oh, well, tax dollars are building it. Immediately, we should all get checks for it. Yeah, that's not how anything works, you asshole.
Downtown, it's gotten more expensive. Availability of it can be a concern. So how are you kind of balancing that need? These projects aim to expand our city, bring in more visitors.
Are there no places to park downtown usually? No, there's lot, but you got to pay $15 to get in. Or if you're
we have jobs. We pay for parking, asshole.
lucky to get on the street, $3 an hour or whatever. It's restrictive for the people that could only barely get there to begin with.
How do you hope to reduce crime and violence in our community, especially involving young people?
What are the root causes of crime? Poverty, trauma. You're either reenacting something that occurred upon you that ruined your psyche in a sense, or you are trying to get money to
Is this it? I mean, again, this guy deals in everything is black and white to him.
live. If we made it so that people were inherently able to live, then the crime.
I think the first question I would have asked this guy is, okay, last week you were on Fox 17 and you look like fucking retarded Eddie Munster. And here you are looking like someone who sucked the dick of the lead singer in Green Day. Take me through that metamorphosis here, Butterfly.
Crime rate itself would just fall naturally.
The police chief has talked about officer shortages in his department, and they want to bring more people through their doors. Do you believe the police department needs more funding or less funding?
I don't think that they're using the officers that they have appropriately. I don't think they need more.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure the cops will be real appreciative of Green Day Roadie telling them how to manage their resources with his vast knowledge of law enforcement.
I think they need to relax. I think they need to be stripped of some of their...
that's going to...
how do you say? I don't like they have guns.
How would you like to bridge that vibe between part of the community and the police department?
At best, it's, hey, a cop played a game of basketball with a kid. That's the community outreach. I'm tired of that. Community outreach for me looks like, let's take away their guns.
Yeah, okay, that sounds like a great idea, you asshole. Tell that to the cop who has to answer the calls, who has he's got his own family, wife and kids to take care of, and he's staring down the barrel of a gun from some asshole. And he's not allowed to have a gun.
If you keep killing people by accident, take away the thing that kills people. Yeah.
Big picture, why should someone vote for you? What's your pitch to voters?
People should vote for me because I will care about you. I will care about your family. I will care about the family you don't even care about.
You don't care about the cops' families. Someone needs to beat the shit out of this guy.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time regardless.
The primary election is set for August 6th. Tuesday night at 6 o'clock on News 8, we'll have our final interview of the series with mayoral candidate Sunita Lanier. Back to you.
Oh, my God, this guy is such a joke. My God. Nick says, yeah, give them all free houses and there'll be no crime. That worked for Cabrini Greens. That's right. That was the scene of the movie Candyman back in the day. Cabrini Greens in Chicago. Government-funded housing. Tyler says he has no fucking idea what he's talking about. Corey says anyone that does that to their ears is not someone who should be taken seriously. He had gauges in his ears. That's a great point. We talked about that last week. Gauges are, honestly, if there's anyone in your life who has that big of gauges, I can see the little ones. Okay, I can live with that. But if you have one that you can stick your finger in, that's fucking ridiculous. Corey does an impression via text. Literally. Frankly. Chris says he sounds like the Miami Dolphins head coach. Bob says, you're an artist? I think you mean autistic. Jimmy says he's probably wicked smart. I don't know about that. David votes this guy for being the asshole of the day. Biggie Saint says, guns don't kill people. Husbands that come home early do. I don't know if I get that. And Rebecca says she hates gauges. Yeah, that guy's a fucking idiot. Wow. I'm real curious about the total makeover. There has to be some type of, real defectiveness in the brain to the person who does that drastic of a change to their appearance regularly. I hope that WZZM does an interview next week and he's like in blackface. Holy shit. Corey says maybe he changes his appearance depending on who's interviewing him so he can appeal to both sides. Yeah, something tells me this guy's going to get 0 conservative votes. Haley Lynch Bastion. Good luck in the election. Okay, hold that thought. EZ's going to go tinkle, and I will be back.